All right, welcome back in. McElroy and Cubelic in the morning. Matt Moscona coming up around 8:30. Press conference set to begin here shortly in Baton Rouge. Most likely to announce that Scott Woodward's going to be out as the athletic director. So the debate, questions, comments from the governor of Louisiana about Scott Woodward not making that decision on who the next football coach is going to be at LSU, feeling a little bit more accurate because he will not be employed by LSU to be able to make that decision. We got a lot more games coming up we need to discuss. Let's dive into some of those. Before we do that, G-Mac, tell our listeners about Shannara Flooring.
Yeah, I mean, the board of directors already said it. It sounds like it's already done. Maybe it's just to announce what they're going to do from this point forward. Or maybe the governor will tap President Trump to determine who the next coach is going to be. Well, I've never seen anything quite like it. Ross Dellinger's article on yahoo.com is absolutely phenomenal. Everybody needs to go check that out. It's amazing. Yes, Shannara Flooring does an amazing job. They've stockpiled a ton of inventory, 50,000 square feet. They want to pass that inventory on to you at savings of 20 to 40%. It's deals like that, man, that continue to make you feel good about it too, man. CoreTech flooring is durable, dependable, 20 mil wear layer. It's incredible what they can provide, and I know you guys will understand. The second you install it in your home or business, you're going to increase the value of your home. That to me is extremely desirable. I know it will be for you as well. So go and check them out at Shannara Flooring by going to footandyou.com. That's footandyou.com.
All right, so this press conference will be LSU board chair Scott Ballard, board member John Carmouche, and interim AD Verge Osbury. Yesterday, Scott Ballard, LSU's Board of Supervisors chair, reacted to what Governor Jeff Landry said in his statement regarding the search for the next LSU head football coach. It sounded like this.
The first question is absolutely correct. We are not going down a failed path. I want to tell you something. This is a pattern. The guy that's here now that wrote that contract cost Texas A&M $70-something million. Right now, we got a $53 million liability. We are not doing that again. And you know what? I believe that we're going to find a great coach. I mean, maybe we'll let President Trump pick it. He loves winners. You know, I'm not going to be picking the next coach. But I can promise you, we're going to pick a coach, and we're going to make sure that that coach is successful. And we're going to make sure that he's compensated properly. And we're going to put metrics on it. Because I'm tired of rewarding failure in this country and then leaving the taxpayers on the foot, to foot the bill. I can tell you right now, Scott Woodward is not selecting the next coach. Hell, I'll let Donald Trump select it before I let him do it.
All right, so
I don't know, but
that's Jeff Landry, the governor of Louisiana. And then yesterday, after he made those comments, Scott Ballard, LSU's Board of Supervisors chair, was asked about those comments. This was his response.
Governor Landry announcing today in a press conference that the Board of Supervisors will be heading that up. Do you have any response, any comment at this time?
No, I didn't know that.
Do you have any idea what the next steps might look like?
Next steps are we're going to go hire the best coach for Louisiana State University. I promise you. Go Tigers.
What was that Freudian?
I love that. He goes. He's got the Orgeron, go Tigers at the end of everything. So Landry says what he thinks is going to happen with the next head coach and the athletic director, and then the Board of Supervisors then says he had no idea that that's how things worked. If you're wondering how it's going, and we had attended a birthday party last night, Greg, and a lot of folks were there like, man, you can't take the LSU job. Oh, man, no, Kiffin would never go to LSU. Nobody's going to take the LSU job. And I was like, guys, this didn't start yesterday. Okay? LSU's been winning despite these issues for a long time.
Correct.
A long time. It's going to be okay from a football perspective at LSU. But you don't realistically believe that this would steer anyone away from this job, do you, G-Mac?
No, I actually do. I do think it would stir people away. But you would have to have a suitable option in another place. I think I guess you could say the show, that's the only appropriate way to describe it, because it's all for entertainment purposes. It's the governor trying to garner favor. And what's funny about this is the governor is a graduate of Louisiana Lafayette. And you know the complex that exists between ULL or Louisiana and LSU. So there's probably a bit of an axe to grind there. The Board of Supervisors, the head of the Board of Supervisors is a graduate of Tulane. And there's a bunch of very strange aspects of this that I find unique. Just the political, granted, they are living in, I don't know, 4 miles away. The football team plays 4 miles away from the state capitol, thereabouts. So it's not that surprising that they're somewhat intertwined, but the history dating back to the 1910s, 20s, and 30s, I mean, it's just always been this way. Backroom deals involving coaches, ADs, administrators. It's just a very controlled environment. But it doesn't make it any less appealing. However, it might make Florida more appealing, where you don't have to deal with things like this, where you don't have a government figure, a prominent political figure, that is trying to garner support from his constituents by driving a hard bargain, who, by the way, didn't even attend the university. I mean, it's just, I just have no time for politicians. Zero. They are the worst. And that's not universal, but situations like this bring out the worst because all they're trying to do is garner some type of political sentiment that's going to lead them getting elected again down the road. And ultimately, this guy is not equipped to be involved in the coaching search whatsoever. You know who was? Scott Woodward. And you know who also? Scott Woodward signed Jimbo Fisher to a contract. Yes, he did. But it was Ross Bjork that actually led to Jimbo Fisher getting paid out what he got paid out. So the governor, from a fact-checking standpoint, incorrect there as well. So it's just typical political figures getting involved in things they have no business getting involved in, and but it's not surprising. However, still an attractive job, and still a job where you can get a lot of wins, and they'll still land a really phenomenal candidate here at the end of the day.
Yep. It's going to be interesting to see. We'll go to kind of some of that audio as it comes out a little bit later. And we'll have Matt Moscona, who's going to be in attendance at that press conference on later this hour on the show. All right, so let's get to some more games coming up this weekend, which is what I think people really want to talk about. Penn State's at Ohio State, 11 a.m. on Fox. Penn State 3-4. Greg, they have not won a Big Ten game this year. That is just unimaginable. And, of course, quarterback injuries, head coach fired. But are there ways still for them to complicate this one against Ohio State?
Yes, I think there are. I mean, because if you really look at what Penn State was designed to be this year, what was their entire roster crafted around? Beating Ohio State, closing the gap, doing things like that. So I think that it would make sense that it would make a lot of sense that when you look at where things are, it would make a lot of sense. I'm just trying to phrase this in a proper way. So give me your thoughts first, and let me just put my head together on this deal first.
Okay. On which aspect of this?
Oh, all-encompassing aspect.
On Penn State building their roster to beat Ohio State?
Because here's my thing. Penn State, I think, put their roster together to beat Ohio State. But I also think at the same time, Ohio State has now adjusted their roster and their offensive identity to beat Penn State and others and Michigan. Am I crazy there? Am I drawing too many straws? Because I feel like Ohio State has long been a high-flying attack, and now I feel like they're a little more ground and pound. But I'm also looking at the most recent game, and that I don't know if that's a one-off or if that's what they're becoming. And that's the Wisconsin game where they threw for 400. That's where I'm struggling here.
Yeah, I think Ohio State has been fairly versatile with their offense the last couple of years. Now they've changed offensive coordinators. I think there's two ways to look at this. One, you can either go the Michigan route and offer them up something different that you don't see a lot of times during the year, and that is just blunt force trauma at the line of scrimmage that most people can't manage. And I realize the Big Ten is mostly built 3 yards in a cloud of dust. They're going to have good offensive line, good defensive lines, but Michigan had gone to another level with it. I mean, when they're running the 7-player I formation or 6 tight ends in a game, whatever it is, you don't see that anywhere else. But it's also NFL offensive linemen, NFL interior defensive linemen, elite edge defenders, and a way that defense attacks you and plays that most people can't manage. I don't think Penn State ever went anywhere close to that route. Now, do I think that they have had good offensive linemen like Olu Fashanu and guys the last couple of years? Yes, they have, which has given them the ability to use guys like Katron Allen to run the football. But when you go hire Andy Kotelnicki, I don't think you're going anywhere near the Michigan route of trying to beat Ohio State. Now, have they gone out and gotten some edge defenders like Abdul Carter and wanting to try and Denny Dennis Sutton, trying to attack quarterbacks and say, all right, if they're going to throw for 450, we got to be able to get to the quarterback? Yes. But if you truly wanted to match what Ohio State was doing, is doing, has been, you needed to upgrade the skill positions. And those attempts have failed. And then the guys that you even had that could have been able to help you, you've allowed them to go other places and be successful. So I don't know if I would fall into the mindset of Penn State solely building their roster just to beat Ohio State. I think they've tried to take what they had and then build around it. Like a couple of years ago, they come down to Auburn. You had two good running backs, and they were ground and pound that year. I think they wanted to go to throw the football a little bit more when Kotelnicki came in, specifically going into this year, Greg. I think they wanted this to be a year where they threw the ball a little bit more. I can't put my fingers on exactly why that happened or why that wasn't. The protection wasn't great. The balance wasn't anywhere near what I thought it was going to be. Now, maybe, and sometimes this works against you a little bit, maybe a guy like Tyler Warren sort of got in the way last year because you felt like we have to give him the ball. He has to take direct snaps. He has to catch the ball. He has to run the ball. And that sort of subtracted from what you built your entire offense around. Now, it was easy to watch it and say it's built around him because he was that good.
Sure.
But I don't know if I would look at Penn State's roster or rosters and say that has been – they constructed that just to beat Ohio State. I think that's always the mindset because they've been the standard in the Big Ten, or one of, with Michigan the last few years. I mean, we forget that Michigan's actually won that game. But I can see where parts of it would be that, but they're not, in my opinion, not even close to being able to attack the minimal Ohio State weaknesses that they've put on the field the last couple seasons. So I don't know if I would say that I agree that they've been able to pull that off.
Well, fair. But answer me this, too, with Penn State. I do actually think, and granted, you got to take into account the fact that their quarterback's not there, but I don't think Aller was that good. I never thought Aller was that good. I think he's a fine player, but the whole characterization is him being the GOAT, 5-star McGee he's fine. He's a fine player. He's solid. But like Heisman Trophy winner, like that good? No shot. I do like his skill set, but I never felt like he was that dynamic. I just didn't feel like he was quick twitch enough to play at a crazy high level. I feel like in the 90s he would have been super elite, but in today's day and age it's very different. But when I look at where Penn State is at, they've lost a game by 1 point, 1 point, 5 points, and 6 points. They've lost 4 games by a combined 13 points. I look at a game against Iowa on the road to lose by 1, tough sledding for sure, right? You get blistered by UCLA, who just had a hot hand and ended up being in a situation where they had 3rd and 15s and Nico Iamaleava is picking them up with scramble drill. I mean, they literally 3 or 4 times in the game. I mean, it was insane. It was just one of those perfect storm games, which, by the way, they happen. Sometimes you run into a buzzsaw, and it's not like they were flat. They weren't flat getting off the bus. They just didn't play very well for whatever reason. I'll tell you this. I think this is too many points. I think it's way too many points. I would take Penn State in the points. I don't think they win the game, and I don't think they're going to manufacture a whole lot of offense. I do think their defense will battle. I think the defense have a chance to battle in this game. And Jim Knowles, depending on how much buy-in he has from his guys, was brought to Penn State for one reason and one reason alone. And that was to close the gap. And whether or not he can do that is something we'll find out. And I think Ohio State is not as good as last year. I think Ohio State right now looks really good. But I think a lot of it has to do with the fact that Ohio State has played 0 teams that could actually threaten them. And while I don't think that Penn State's great offensively, I think they're better than anything that Ohio State's seen up to this point outside of the Texas game. And Texas didn't even know what they had in that Week 1 game. And there were a lot of guys open in Week 1. So how do you feel about it? Do you think Penn State can keep it close?
I think the fact that it's an early kick helps Penn State being on the road. I do think that I believe what you say about where Ohio State is. I think they're good. I like watching them. I think their offensive line's physical. I think their linebackers are extremely fast. I think Caleb Downs adds a totally dimension of how they can play defense structurally, which throws a lot of people off. I don't know if Penn State can consistently block them in this game, but let me ask you this part of it, because this is kind of where my brain's going. Could there in some way, shape, form, or fashion be an advantage to not having James Franklin in this game? Because what has the noise been when James Franklin has coached against Michigan or Ohio State for the last 5 years? The complete and utter domination of those programs, right? He can't win those games.
He can't win. He can't even be competitive in those
You're not
games.
winning. Like, not with that head coach. He literally cannot do it. So I wonder if in some weird way that would probably feed more into what you're saying about them being competitive and not really winning the game, is there some sigh of relief, or is there some exhale of not having to listen to your head coach, not being able to be competitive with these teams for the last decade, and therefore now maybe you believe you have a chance? I don't know if that's real. I don't know if that takes place.
Maybe you play a little freer. You know what I mean?
You just let it go.
Like not here we go again, but it's like screw it. Let's go throw a punch.
I think it's possible. I think it's feasible. I don't think Penn State can win the game. I don't believe that they'll win the game. Can they keep it more competitive than some people are imagining? Probably. 19.5 does feel like a lot. I think they probably try to slow the game down, and I don't think Ohio State's going to be in a big hurry on offense. So, I don't think you're looking at Ohio State even having a chance to put up 45 in this game.
Ohio State plays slower than Vanderbilt. They're the third slowest team in the country. Do you realize that?
Yep.
Third slowest.
And it works.
It's great. I do wonder, too, with Penn State, and I think if you have a healthy quarterback with Drew Aller, I think this number would be a lot lower. But Vegas is preying on Ethan Grunkemeyer isn't going to be able to manufacture any offense against Ohio State. When in reality, Drew Aller was never really that good to begin with. Like, you think Grunkemeyer is that much of a step down from Drew Aller? I mean, yeah, to an extent, but, like, not that big of a difference. Am I crazy for thinking that?
He's not a big step down from how Drew Aller had been playing this year.
No, exactly.
Maybe at other points in time in his career, but not this year, no. So it'll be an interesting one to watch tomorrow morning. Tyler in Hoover wants to chime in on the Higginbotham hotline. Welcome in, Tyler.
Hey, guys. Good morning. How are y'all?
Doing well, thank you.
Man, it gets me fired up hearing y'all talk ball on Fridays. Hey, I question. My mind was kind of blown when we were talking about people being able to possibly steal frequencies in the helmets. And then
hold on. First off, that was like totally fabricated by me. I haven't heard that.
No,
I don't think that's real.
I know that. I'm saying that I fully believe that. I mean, it sounds like something that could absolutely be done, at some point, smart people out there. But what got me thinking was, so in the helmet speakers, does the offense and the defense have a set amount of time that they're allowed to have the speakers on? Is that what I heard?
It shuts off at 15 seconds.
Yeah, 15 seconds on the play clock. You can no longer communicate with the green dot, which would be the one player on both sides that have the communications.
Okay, I had no idea. That's very interesting. That's what I wanted some clarity on, guys. So
which would also be another way to again, technically, like you're saying, if someone can figure out the day somebody figures out how to circumvent that, rewire that, get around.
People are actively trying to do that.
Oh, absolutely.
That just feels like a lot of work as opposed to just trying to put in a plan.
No. Thank you for the call. You got your communications guy. You got your tech guy. Now, you're never firing that guy after you do this.
Yeah, he's got a job forever.
He's good. But you don't think some of these dudes have gone into some of those, somebody who used to work for Coach Com or used to work for AT&T or whatever it is, and like, hey, I know they shut it off, but like, how do we get around that?
I'm sure it's been asked if it can be done.
Oh, Coach, we can't do that. Yeah, no, but how?
I'm sure it's been asked if it can be done, but I find it hard to believe that anyone's actually actively tried to do it.
What?
It just
Okay,
you think
come
they've
on.
actively
You are not
tried
a
to do
serious
it?
human being right now if you don't think they've tried to figure that out.
These are like encrypted radio waves. I just don't know how you even circumvent that. It would take a very advanced.
Greg, we got people hacking into like thousands of Hollywood actors' email through their cloud storage. You don't think people can hack a radio frequency? If I can hear truck drivers on my kids' walkie-talkies in my yard coming down 65, someone can figure out how to get into one of these. Now, maybe they think it's too dangerous to actually do it, and so they haven't. But if you don't think they've even tried, I would say absolutely no way. 100% they've at least tried.
Fair enough. I'm not saying they're not. I just think the amount of energy, like you only have a certain amount of energy to give your life during the week. The amount of energy that it would take to actually hack the coaches' comms, to me, I feel like your energy would be better suited evaluating a way to find stops on third down.
Yeah, because you're asking your tech guy who doesn't even know what third down is to get in there and try to do it.
See, all right, there's these
like
downs,
Steve Sarkisian is
go
not
10
sitting there.
yards.
Steve Sarkisian is not sitting there with like his, Radio Shack starter kit trying to break into a headphone at night in his office. Like, okay, hold on. If we put this, he's not doing Mission Impossible with the green and red wires. But some of these staffs have dudes that have probably worked for these companies before, and I guarantee it's been tossed out. Like, how hard would it be to just work around that and not let that turn off? Because I would love to tell my guy with 5 seconds left on the play clock where he needs to go with the ball. Oh, come on, coach.
Yeah.
We can't do that. Yeah, but if you could, how would you do it? Oh, I don't know. I've only pretended like we've hacked into those before.
Yeah.
All right, well, show us how it would work. Let's do our ones in practice. Let's
Why
just
don't you
see
try
if
to
it made a
hack into
difference.
mine?
Yeah.
Try to hack into mine real quick.
Hey,
We're not going to do it. We're trying to prevent others from doing it. I just
this
want
is
to know.
this is a total defense mechanism. Speaking of which, like, see if you can get into the defenses during the scrimmage today, and we can hear that. All I got to do is just reroute the blue wire over here and to the new mainframe. It's like, well, just try it. Let's see how it sounds. We don't even. Let's just give it a go. Guarantee it's happening. 100%.
I'm sure those conversations, those slightly open-ended conversations have happened. I agree with that. I just don't think anyone has actively tried to do it. I don't even know how feasible it is. I'm not some type of technology person. I don't know how RF frequencies and things like that work. But I do know that those are pretty well encrypted. And I don't think, unless you got hands on the machinery itself in pregame, you're probably not letting anyone get to the coaches' comps. Those guys travel with their coaches' comps. That's like the most, you might as well travel with your trash. Like whatever trash you have in the locker room, you might as well just bag it up and take it with you because you think someone's going to be going through the trash to get old game plans to use against you in the next year. Like that, which by the way, we used to do when we played against the New England Patriots. When we played against New England, they took our trash with us. Because people think that the New England Patriots under Belichick would go through the visiting team's locker room trash, get game plan notes, and use it against them in the second matchup or the third matchup of the season when they played against each other. So it wouldn't be unthinkable. I think those things are pretty heavily guarded.
I get it, but I don't think the coaches are trying, but I don't think there's no doubt in my mind they've asked someone else. Rod tweets in, could you imagine if the helmet were allowed to stay on all the time, the OC yelling into the helmet as he's running around about to get sacked? It would be nuts. Did the UFLs go off after the snap, or do they just stay on? I think they're on.
No,
I know they at least go to the snap.
I think they went off at 10 seconds.
Oh, I don't think so. I think it went to the snap. I got to go double check that because we've heard some conversations like pretty close to things taking place, and I have to go double. I thought it stayed on until the snap. All right, we got to get to a break. Come back, talk some more college football. Max Ball Friday right here on Jocks. All right, welcome back here, McElroy and Cubelic in the morning. Didn't you tell me there's a story to this song?
Yeah, this is the reason we have Fresh Prince, the TV show. They did this song on his album, He's the DJ, I'm the Rapper, and New Line Cinemas, whoever owned it, like sued the crap out of them because they used the music from
Nightmare on Elm
Street.
Street.
So
he didn't have the money to pay that he was getting sued for.
All of his money, I guess either they sold it or he lost, and lost everything. And then, like, the next day, Quincy Jones came up to him and said, hey, we got this idea. We want you to look. He's like, oh, I don't quite know. And he's like, you might need to do it.
Kind of have to.
Yeah.
That's incredible. I remember you sharing that before. So.
All right, this is going to sound, you're going to make fun of me, but what song is this? I cannot hear it very well in my headphones.
It's called A Nightmare on My Street by
A Nightmare
DJ.
on My Street.
Yes.
Do you even know what Nightmare on Elm Street is, Greg?
I'm familiar with Nightmare on Elm Street, yeah.
Who's the
but
main
not
character?
A Nightmare on My Street.
Who's the main character in Nightmare on Elm Street?
Freddy Krueger.
Okay, good.
Yeah.
That wouldn't have been like a you problem. That's more like an age. I don't know when
No,
the last one
I mean,
came
come
out.
on. I've never seen it, but I know the.
You at least know of Freddy. Yeah.
I know of Jason. I know of Freddy Krueger. Like I know of the. I mean, they come up enough in pop culture where I know what the bad guys are in a lot of these horrible slasher movies.
Let me help you. Don't waste your time. You're good.
But Halloween,
it did its job in our day.
Yeah.
But now I'm afraid if you were to put Nightmare on Elm Street on, you would be like, "Come on, guys."
Yeah.
You're not really. It's just,
you're not buying it.
Yeah, I don't think it held the test of time of being actually scary. I'll say.
Did any of them?
I think there's a couple of Friday the 13th of like through in the campsite in the woods, like the lake and stuff, where it's like it could kind of freak you out a little bit. Nightmare on Elm Street is just kind of dumb.
It's weird with Freddy because while I think that premise is scarier, like you can invade your dreams, like once you're asleep, all right, you know what's happening. Whereas Jason can kind of come out of nowhere.
Yeah. Also the special effects were awful.
Or Michael Myers.
Like, he only comes out of Halloween, so you're kind of safe.
Oh, he only came out of Halloween?
Yeah.
That's when he only really killed. Yeah.
Michael Myers, though, I mean, a similar premise to Friday or the 13th, and when it's like you kind of don't know how and why it's going to happen. The Freddy Krueger stuff, like I would say, the special effects made it so bad that you were just, even if it kind of freaked you out, you were like, what? Like the kid getting pulled into the bed, and like the lady who gets pulled through the little square on the door and the window at the end of I think 3. You're just like, this isn't working. So
yeah. Are there any slasher movies that have held up?
I'd say Scream, at least the first one.
No, the first one for sure.
Yes.
Yeah.
Scream was scary. I'll give you that. But like, I Know What You Did Last Summer, Nightmare on Elm Street, Chucky, anything Chucky.
Yeah,
related.
there's not a Child's Play that has held up for even a week.
I don't even think
multiple years. That is like a cult phenomenon that people just think it's interesting to see a doll running around talking and trying to kill people. That I don't think any of those were ever considered
both that
good.
one and Nightmare on Elm Street. Even if they started scary, about 1 or 2 in, they're like, screw it, let's just have fun with it. And then instead of being the bad, he became an anti-hero. And he was still the bad guy, but he was having fun and making people laugh.
People were rooting for him.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I'll be honest with you. I think Gremlins was scarier than Child's Play back in the day. Like even me as like a 10 or 11-year-old was like, it's a doll. Kick him. Like I can remember being like 11 or 12, whatever it was, and I'm like, how about we just kick him?
Yeah, it's not that. Yeah.
Like just give him a swift boot and see what happens. Like no one could ever even do anything to him. It felt like.
Yeah. Did you? I feel like this would have been right up John's alley though. Like I get the sense that you at one point went down like the indie Slayer slasher movie rabbit hole.
Yeah, kind of. Because I was gonna say another one that holds up, Saw, the first one, and even kind of the second one too.
Is that really a slasher movie? That's more of a psychological thriller.
The second one is more so. The first one was like, oh, people like the blood. It was like, no, we like the story. And they're like, all right, we'll give you the blood. And then everyone they just gave you all the blood. And it's like, okay, well, now I know what you're doing. It's a bit much.
Fair. The first Saw was one of the best horror movies ever. I mean, that was such a good movie.
Yeah, I would
just a dilemma, just a remarkable dilemma.
I would probably agree with that.
I know y'all can't now because of football season, but when y'all get back into movie watching stuff, Sinners that came out earlier this year, It's the best movie I've seen in a long time.
Is that
Really?
a movie theater movie? I'm asking seriously. I don't know.
It was, yes. It's on HBO Max now, so
Okay. I
if
can
you have
get
the
that.
time, it's absolutely worth it.
Oh, based on my YouTube TV options, I
You may
probably have a
kinda
lot of
have to,
time.
yeah.
I might be
Yeah,
watching that
sounds like
tonight.
it. 2:30 Central Time tomorrow. Cole watching Sinners.
Can you believe this Georgia, Florida? Hold on a second. I'll see what this lady's about to do. She get out of this?
Hang on, dude.
100%.
Oh, goodness.
E. Robinson tweets in, Nightmare on My Street, a top 5 all-time Halloween song. Well, you got This Is Halloween,
Right.
Thriller,
The Halloween theme from Halloween. Yeah, Michael Myers
which
music.
is probably my
Probably.
number one,
Yeah.
honestly. There's the one 50s Halloween song that everybody plays all the time.
Monster Mash.
Yes. God, it's awful.
Wait, what's
It's
wrong with that?
one of the top 5 worst song of all time.
I did a mash.
Stop. Don't even do it.
did a mash.
Don't do it. Don't do it. No, don't do
It's
it.
a bad one. That one doesn't do much for me. Thriller rips though.
Yeah, I don't know if I can get more than 5 or 6 Halloween songs even out. I don't even know what you call.
Yeah, I
some-
guess.
I guess you know some of them when you hear them. But
It's in there by default.
Yeah. Steven Isabel tweets in, Halloween is still absolutely scary, the original anyway. He's a personification of evil, and there's no explanation for how he became who he is. The best experience, watch Halloween 1978, Halloween 2018, Halloween Kills, Halloween Ends. Okay? So he's in all of them. So
All right, I
That's
just
not-
looked
that
up.
ain't all of 'em, tell you that.
I just looked up Halloween music. Best Halloween songs ever. You ready for this?
if Monster Mash is on the list, delete that
Monster
website.
Monster Mash is one of the listed ones, but
Get
there's
outta here.
several others that are actually pretty good that I never thought about as a Halloween song, but it makes sense.
The
All right,
devil
we
went down to
obvious-
Georgia.
Yeah. We know that Thriller is, right?
Yeah.
Michael Jackson. That right. You also have Ghostbusters theme song. That one's not
All
bad.
right, I'll allow that
Okay,
one in.
all right.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a good one. I can get on board with that. I've never thought about it, but I can get on board. All right, how about this one? Superstition by Stevie Wonder.
Very superstitious.
Okay, all right.
That
Like,
one?
It's not. I guess it deals with Halloween stuff, but it doesn't feel like a Halloween song.
Superstition everywhere.
Yeah, I'm going to say no.
How about this one? Zombie.
It's not a Halloween song.
That's a war
By
song.
the Cranberries. In your head. You don't like that one?
No.
I didn't say I didn't,
Yeah.
but
Not
it's
for a Halloween song.
That's a war
That's a-
song. Come on now.
What about Witchy Woman by the Eagles?
That's just not a Halloween song.
That's what I'm saying. I feel like, how about Don't Fear the Reaper by Blue Oyster Cult?
No.
What? Why?
These aren't Halloween songs. These are just
What about
songs.
Highway to Hell by AC/DC?
These are songs that have some sort of similar character involved in Halloween
Right,
also.
Yeah.
Fair. What about Highway to Hell, AC/DC?
No, that's like a workout pregame song.
What about Black Magic Woman by Santana?
No.
I mean, these are Halloween songs.
They're not,
Why are you
though.
mad?
They're not.
Yeah, they are. What about Pet Cemetery by the Ramones?
Now you're just begging for stuff now.
No, these are listed. I'm not making these up.
So you're the list is making it up, and you're telling us. Therefore,
No, I'm just
Right.
asking. These are considered Halloween songs. I don't necessarily align with them. I think just spooky music is a Halloween song, as opposed to
Okay.
actual language
I got you.
being spoken.
All right, we'll continue that conversation. Actually, we're not going to talk about those songs anymore. That's an awful list. We're not going back to it. Coach Harris tweets in, Sinners is definitely a good watch. And Deuce May, now this is good. Thriller was a really scary short film video. First
was.
Exorcist movie, scariest movie. I agree with that. Thriller kind of got me when it first
Exorcist
came
freaks
out.
me out. I can't watch Exorcist.
I still can't watch
do
the
it.
end of Thriller. Them yellow eyes still get me.
That got me more than Exorcist is just too much, too over the top
Yeah.
in general.
No,
all
I
of it.
can't.
Yeah.
I can't with Exorcist.
Yeah.
It's too
I'm with
too
you.
disturbing.
Okay, Matt Moscona attended the LSU presser this morning. What did we learn? He'll tell us next right here on Jocks. All right, welcome back in. McElroy and Cubelic in the morning, 8:40, Friday, October 31st. It is Halloween. Remember, you can listen online, jocksfm.com. Apps in your app store, iPhone, Android. Download that for free. Also, watch live on YouTube every morning or tell your home smart speaker to just enable the Jock skill.
Bill Smith Buick GMC is the GMC Dealer of the Year, the national champion of GMC dealers. They've won 5 years in a row. They've won 8 overall, and their numbers are looking good again this year. Got a real chance to bring it home for the 6th straight time here in 2025. The reason why is the deals that you find on the lot are unlike that of what you'll find anywhere else. Like a 2025 Denali, GMC Sierra 2500 Denali. It's the nicest truck on the road. Absolutely beautiful vehicle. $89,715 is the list price. You'll pay $77,715 at Bill Smith. They have low overhead, and they pass that savings on to you. So take the short drive up to Coleman up I-65, exit 310, Highway 31. You can also shop online, have it delivered right to your driveway at BillSmithBuickGMC.com.
All right, Matt Moscona joining us now on the Higginbotham hotline. You can hear him doing local radio in Baton Rouge, Locked on LSU podcast as well. We asked Matt, all right, we got to get this out of the way. So we have current listeners that are asking, is the LSU program burning? They're tweeting in and want to know.
No, this is just pretty common for LSU. That's always the difference that a lot of Alabama fans I don't think ever understood with the bit, which is so fun that they love it so much. I mean, guys, this is as odd as this sounds and seems outside of here for everybody. Like, this is the third coach LSU's fired mid-season. I mean, you don't have a university president. You don't have an athletic director. You don't have a head coach. I mean, this state, for all of its idiosyncrasies that I love so much and why people love to live here, the political inner workings of this state and how it touches everything, where a governor can so far overstep his bounds, interjecting himself into contract buyout talks for a football coach. It's just the absurdity knows no bounds, man. But this is very this is just very normal here. I mean, maybe we just perpetually live in a pit of flames. But on the field, that's the other thing too. Is, I mean, guys, LSU, you all know this. LSU is a perpetual 8-9 win team, and about every half decade they pop a big one. I mean, that's what LSU is and has been really for the past quarter century.
Explain to me why the governor has so much oversight. And I know, like, I want to get to the details of the actual firing process and Scott Woodward and all that stuff, but why is the governor allowed to appoint all the board members? Why is the governor on the board? And why is there the governor's not even an alumnus of LSU? I'm just having a hard time why he has so much power and why it's structured that way.
So the governor isn't on the board, but the governor, and this isn't just this governor, this is every governor, does appoint the Board of Supervisors members, and they're term limited. So right now, the majority of the board members are not appointed by this governor because he's early in his term. But in about 6 months, 2 more seats will rotate off, and this governor will appoint them. So specifically, for example, with Scott Woodward here being fired, or excuse me, mutually agreeing to part ways, it was effectively, hey, leave now or be a lame duck, and in 6 months, when the board, 2 more board seats rotate on, we'll just fire you. Why is it structured that way? I don't know enough about the inner workings of the Napoleonic Code and the state and how it was set up, in 1860. But I mean, there has to be a board that runs the state. It is a state, or that runs the state university. It is a state university. So ultimately, but from budgetary standpoint, remember, the board doesn't just run LSU athletics. It runs the entire Louisiana State University system and the 2 teaching hospitals as well. So we think of it sometimes siloed as athletics, but it's the board is running the entire decision making for the entire university.
Matt Moscona joining us on the Higginbotham hotline, talking LSU press conference today. Where do they go next now that we know Scott Woodward is not going to be involved in making this next decision? I want your thoughts on the potential next head coach as well. But first, is AD solved before we get to that head coaching hire?
I don't think so. And I asked that. So the press conference that I'm leaving right now was Scott Ballard, the president of the board, John Carmouche, the chairman, and then Verge Osbury, who's the interim athletic director. And I asked at this press conference that question about the timeline for hiring a new athletic director, and they effectively said there is no timeline. LSU. So right now, LSU does not have a university president either. That president is expected to be elected on Tuesday. So they will have a university president. It is not anticipated that the president would hire a new athletic director before the football coach is hired, which then the next obvious question is, what football coach would take a job not knowing who their boss is going to be, which complicates the football coach hire. But Verge Osbury, who's been a long-time associate AD, played at LSU in the 80s, been a long time, his entire professional career he's been at LSU. He'll serve as the interim, and he'll lead the search for a new coach.
So where do you think this search will begin, and how do you think it will
it's already
play out?
begun. I'm sorry, Greg, do you mean for the AD or for the coach?
Well, for the AD is, to me, I get that it's important, but if ultimately the AD is if the governor has veto power over the AD, what does it matter? I guess is my question. So where do you think the coaching search will start?
Yeah. It was important to know who was going to make the hire, because until you know who's going to make the hire, it's impossible to know what type of candidate they'd seek. So, for example, Scott Woodward's MO was always that he went whale hunting. He hired Brian Kelly, he hired Jimbo Fisher, he hired Steve Sarkisian and Chris Peterson at Washington. He hired Kim Mulkey at LSU. So he was going to go look to spend $100 million and try to get Lane Kiffin or Dan Lanning or someone like that. It's interesting because the governor has been pretty adamant about contract structure and not doing a giant guaranteed deal. But at this press conference, Verge Osbury, the interim AD, was asked that question about contract structure, and he said, I've been tasked with going to hire the best coach, and effectively said, implying that money wouldn't be an issue. So I can tell you they've already started making calls, and they will certainly start with Lane Kiffin. But it'll be interesting if the way, guys, there's a real possibility that Ole Miss is playing deep into January. And if they are you going to wait that long to hire a coach when you've got the December signing period and the January portal window, which effectively feels like you'd be punting next football season if you wait on one of these coaches that's going to be potentially coaching deep into the playoffs. So, you got those big names, Kiffin, Lanning, who I know Lanning said yesterday point blank he's not leaving Oregon. You still make the phone call, make him tell you no. But after that, I think, you start looking at a next tier, which probably includes John Sumrall at Tulane. We've heard Eli Drinkwitz. I've heard Jed Fish at Washington. Maybe a guy like Kenny Dillingham at Arizona State. Some of those names are sort of what you start to hear.
Matt, appreciate the time, man. Great stuff. Do you have a thought on the next AD and who that's going to be quickly?
It'll be one of 5 people. There's 2 in state. Heath Schroyer at McNeese, which is where the new president's coming from. J.R. Teagues from Southeastern. Verge Osbury, who's the interim. And then the other 2 worth keeping an eye on are Josh Brooks at Georgia, who's an LSU alum, and Michael Alford at Florida State, who's also an LSU alum. And I'm fairly certain it'll be one of those 5.
There you go. Always appreciate the time, Matt. Great stuff. Look forward to catching up soon.
All right, guys.
All right, Matt Moscona joining us from Baton Rouge. Just walked out of that press conference for LSU and what it's going to look like. We'll discuss it more next right here on Jocks. Halloween, 8:52 right here on Jocks. As we keep rolling along, get into a little bit more of a Max Ball Friday. Tell our listeners about Crocker Moving Services, G-Mac.
Local company owned by an Iraq War veteran, Eric Crocker. Crocker believes in hiring movers you can trust to complete full background checks and run drug tests on every single employee. These are good guys. You can trust them in your home. When they need your whole home packed up and moved, your company headquarters moved across the country, or you just want them to come rearrange your living room, they got you covered. They also do deliveries for furniture that you purchase need to get to your home. So call them online today for a free quote. The website's CrockerMovingServices.com. That's CrockerMovingServices.com. Support your veterans by choosing Crocker Moving Service for your next move.
All right, so let's bounce around a couple other games coming up this weekend, G-Mac, before you get out of here at 9 to head over to Texas meetings. You'll be on the call for that game. What has to happen for Vanderbilt to win this football game?
I think they have to be able to establish the run. I think that's very important. I also think, and tell me if I'm crazy here, I think it's very important for Vanderbilt to continue to get Texas into third and long situations. Texas has been one of the worst on first and second down. They're playing third downs from distance over and over and over again, partly because of penalties, partly because of lost yardage plays on 1st and 10. They're just way behind the sticks, and they're off schedule. It's almost like they're off schedule all game long. And while they've been a little better the last few weeks, they were converting just 12% of 3rd and 7 plus. In the first 5 games. In the last 3, they're converting 41%. You can't do that very often. Like, you have got to make sure that you are in manageable third downs, and that's 3rd and 6 or less. So I think that's a big key, is who can stay on schedule better in this game. If it's Vanderbilt, they should be in great shape. If it's Texas, they should be in great shape. And the more snaps that are played, the more Texas's talent advantage could come to the forefront, because I think obvious passing situations, Vandy will have their hands full with that pass rush.
Yeah, it's I think too that 3rd and long's not where you want to live against Texas. Anybody, not just Vanderbilt, anybody. And the Vanderbilt tackles had their worst game of the season last week, in my opinion. Struggled in pass pro, just not as dominant in the run game. So we'll see how that one plays out. GMAC will be on the call 11 a.m. ABC. Miami,
was that a bad performance, or was that matchup specific? Because the Vandy coaches talked a lot about that this week in press conferences and other places, that their O-line just didn't play well last week. I don't think it's because they've regressed. I just think it was a tough matchup. Is that fair?
Missouri has really good edge defenders.
Really good.
And more than just, I mean, a lot of people just point to Damon Wilson. It's a lot more than him. They got 3-4 guys that can be a problem. So, yeah, I think matchup specific. And they're not regressing, just kind of a letdown game.
Yeah,
Groups are going to have those. It's just kind of what it was.
Miami
Miami at SMU, 11 a.m. on ESPN. It's a big one for SMU at already 5-3, but still 3-1 in the ACC. There are some fascinating scenarios, Greg, in the ACC. If you fast forward to how things could go, is Miami on alert in this game in your mind?
It's one of the strangest statistical profile games I've ever seen. SMU gives up 300 plus through the air, but they are top 10 in sacks. They have 12 picks. And they're one of the best in the country as far as allowing completions against them. They can only allow like 56% completions. So they're a very boomer bust defense. This entirely comes down to whether or not Carson Beck plays a smart football game. If he does, they'll be fine. If he gets greedy or aggressive, then they're going to have some issues. But they're going to have to manufacture a couple big plays and hold up in protection.
All right. Before you get out of here, tell our listeners about ProLift.
Well, ProLiftDoors.com. ProLift garage doors are the very best. You pay for the work, not for the service. Go and check them out at ProLiftDoors.com. They're lifting your expectations.
This meetings. You'll get Texas and Vanderbilt tomorrow morning on ABC. Not if you have YouTube TV. So what's the play here, guys? What's the solution? And when's your cutoff? I think it was Ralph Russo, maybe somebody else that I followed this morning said, at YouTube TV, you have 12 hours to figure this out. I'm assuming right before the Friday night games begin.
Right, yeah.
John, you're a YouTube TV guy, right?
I am, in fact, yeah.
Because I've seen your quad box when you put all the TVs together on the weekends.
Correct, yeah.
All right, what's the play? Hold on one second. 800-239-9569. Tweet in at Mac and Cube. You can also text into the show 205-834-9450. Because I want to hear what people are doing. Because I'm in this boat as well. John is in this boat.
I will sign up for ESPN, the app. I'll pay the $30 a month for this month because I'm fairly certain it'll get resolved within a month. So if I have to do it for this weekend, okay, cool. Now, the other option potentially, because I think I can get by the rest of the week without it, if Lady and I want to go somewhere, I know there are a couple places around town that I could sit and probably spend the necessary 6 to 12 hours that I would need to. That's plan B, but plan A is to probably shell out for the app for a month. Because also noted in the email that came out for YouTube was like, hey, if this drags out, you're going to get $20 credit, which for some reason I already got. So I'm like, all right, well, I tell myself, all right, well, this is now paying for itself, kind of. So
the problem is, as you stated, of going ahead and getting the ESPN app for folks like me, not putting you in this category necessarily.
You'll forget?
Yeah, you won't cancel it.
Yeah.
Like I had a Whoop charge hit my Amex the other day, and I was like, I haven't had a Whoop in like a year.
Whew.
What are we doing? How? Well, I don't know what that thing is that they advertise, that like the Rocket Plan or whatever it is,
Right,
and you
yeah.
get the app and it tells you all the things you pay for. Like I really think I need to do that. I thought that thing was dumb when I first saw it.
And they claim they'll cancel it for you too.
Like just what?
That-
They'll
that's
start
what they
canceling
say.
stuff, or you
That's-
tell them to.
That's what they say, that they will cancel unwanted subscriptions for you. Like you tell them to, but apparently, allegedly, their sales pitch is
I think I got to get. How much does that thing cost, though? I never see that.
that I don't know.
Yeah, see, they never tell you what.
Of course not. No.
It could be $89 a month.
Yeah.
Like,
Less than your
We'll, we'll save you at least $50 a month for $89 a month. One, I need the name of that. Two, I need to know how much that costs. They should charge a commission of what you've been paying. Hey, you've been paying $100 a year for this, and you don't need it.
Well, don't give them
We're
ideas
going to
if you're
cancel
about
it
to
for
sign
60.
up.
Okay. I mean, I need to know.
We're like, oh God, he's right.
And I need to know the play from everybody else. If you're YouTube TV, what are you going to do? Jolly tweets in, I've stayed away from YouTube for that reason. They always lull you in with low entry, and this becomes the game. Okay.
Oh, that ain't just YouTube.
I'd like to counter with what company has not taken that
Well,
strategy.
We had this
Because
exact same
I can
issue.
remember when Netflix was $7.99 a month.
Yeah.
Yeah, those are the days.
Disney
They
Plus or Apple TV Plus started at $4.99.
Mm-hmm.
What is it now?
I want to say it just went up to $9.
Disney started at $9.99,
Yeah.
right?
Uh-huh. Or
Not-
maybe $6.
Not even
Yeah.
more?
No.
Not even
Uh-uh.
close to that? No? So
HBO Max was $20.
yeah, let me know who doesn't operate with those shenanigans.
Also, Spectrum
And
had
those
this
ruse.
issue last year. DirecTV had it 2 years ago.
YouTube TV's had it before.
YouTube had it earlier with Fox.
Yeah.
Every cable provider has this. It's part of the game now.
It's only going to continue. So, Deuce May tweets in, YouTube is through if they don't resolve. But when's your cutoff? I agree with you. When's the cutoff that you say out on YouTube TV? Done. I'm going to be sitting around watching games tomorrow, figure out how to negotiate a new app. Can I get it on my laptop? I got to go get the logins replaced. Like what? I don't need this weekend. Just going to be
No.
honest with you guys.
No.
And which is why I'm going with plan A of I'll sign up for ESPN since it won't cost me all that much, and I know it'll get resolved most likely within a month. So that way I'm paying for a month. Because, like you said, I don't want to change out all that, but also looking at all the other competitors, you see how I like my setup with all those screens on that.
Yeah.
If I want to do that with cable, I'm having a box for each one of those. So I can't do it that way. If I have DirecTV, I'm paying for all those extra. I can't do that. YouTube's the only one that allows me to do that. So yes, it's annoying that they're doing this right now, but also Dang it, I got to stick with him.
How do you watch all the other cable providers right now? Like if you were like Greg talks about, he's still DirecTV. Do you have to have the little box on the back of your TV still?
I think there's one of two ways. I think that's the main way. I know they offer like
a digital service,
DirecTV Stream.
Right.
I don't know if that's a separate service. Like if you have DirecTV, like Greg, I don't know if he's still. I guess he's still technically, because he said he said the charge hit his account yesterday. I'm like, well, then you've got it for another month. You didn't cancel it. You've got it for another month.
Not only does he have it, I feel like he's bragging about having it.
Probably that's
Which, good luck when the rain comes through.
But I know you can. There is a DirecTV Stream where basically it's like an app you can pull up on your phone and various things to watch it. But I don't know if that's with your normal.
When they
service.
introduced that, I was still with DirecTV, and I felt like it was a totally separate thing. I don't know if
it was, because it was like DirecTV Go or something like that. Because
so
I got
if I wanted Spectrum, or I don't even know the other ones, Comcast, whatever it is.
Right. Yeah.
I have to have a box on every TV.
Probably.
This is 1989.
Now, what I think.
What are we doing?
Now, what a good number of them do, if you have like ESPN, or whatever, through that, if you pull up on your smart TV, you can pull up, say, ESPN or various other apps.
Say your provider.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
So you can do it that way, which is an extra step, and also like, all right, well, what are we doing?
And let's just say that specific one doesn't always work as well as it should.
Right. Yes.
Yeah.
All right, we want to know what your plan is. 800-239-9569, 800-239-WJOX. Tweet in at Mac and Cube. Pete Moss tweets in, Sling TV is an option. I've paid for 1 day at a hotel last month. Watch Bama for $6.
Okay.
Albert tweets in, this is an ESPN issue, not YouTube TV. ESPN wants to move people to its new app subscription plan. Okay, you can say it's an ESPN problem, but I currently pay for YouTube TV with the understanding that ESPN, ESPN2, ESPN News, SEC Network, ABC will be on it, and now it's not. El Bamo tweets in, Cole, don't you work for ESPN? Get the app.
Still have to pay for it.
Right.
Correct.
It didn't have free. If it was free, he'd have been like, yeah, cool. But
been done, had it.
Right.
Greg gets a discount on Hulu, but he's still got to pay for it.
Yeah.
Beham Dog wants to chime in on TV Answers. Welcome in, Dog.
Hey, good morning, guys. Hey, yeah, so I cut the cord on YouTube a little while back myself, mainly because if you ever have any type of issue, they have no customer service, and that's a big deal for me. If I can't dispute something with talking to somebody, then that's a big deal to me. So what I've done, I have a property on the water that we go to on the weekends. I have a DirecTV dish, and it allows me for free. It's free. I can stream at my house the DirecTV Live. So
and then on your devices too, so like your iPad and phone and stuff.
Yes, iPad, my phone. I have 7 TVs at my place. That's where I watch college football. It is my sports room, and I have the boxes. Of course, I can stream as well, but because I have DirecTV Dish, I'm allowed to use my DirecTV Stream at home, and I've even let other people use that as well. So right now they haven't limited it. So that's the way to go. Cut down over $150 a month for me.
Okay, thank you very much. Hey, well,
so in essence, that's kind of what I was saying, that if you have DirecTV, you can do those other things, but keep in mind, it was just September of last year where ESPN and DirecTV had their
same thing.
Right, yeah. So
if I'm not mistaken, they missed the Friday night games.
Yeah, yes.
That was like the first weekend of the season. Some of Saturday, possibly.
Maybe a Sunday, too.
Zach Manning tweets in, the best plan is Hulu Live with the ESPN Disney Plus bundle. It'll cost you the same as regular YouTube TV subscription. But is that also the new ESPN Plus app?
Yes.
So you have to have Hulu Live with the ESPN Plus Disney app, or the Disney Plus app on top of Hulu Live, and then you get the discount there. It would be easier if they had a Disney bundle.
Right.
That had all the Disney stuff that we want from Plus, all the ESPN stuff that came with ABC and whatnot, and the Hulu deal all in there. Trey tweets in, ESPN's trying to get... We know what ESPN's trying to do. The problem here, Trey, is I pay for YouTube TV right now, and you don't have what you told me I was going to have. I don't care who's responsible for that. I don't pay ESPN. I pay you, and you don't have it right now. You can point fingers at whoever you want. It's like people pointing fingers at Jackson Arnold. Hugh Freeze calls plays. Who's at fault? He put him in the game. That might not even work as an analogy. But I'm trying.
But think about it. Well, if YouTube TV,
You told me you were going to get yards, and you told me you were going to score touchdowns.
But here's the thing: like nobody will be able to see it, so you can work. You can work with the analogy. Nobody's gonna be able to see it tomorrow anyway because YouTube.
I
TV
understand
ain't got ESPN.
exactly what strong arm tactics
Right.
Disney is using here. Good for them. It's their business. Go make your money. I don't pay them for this. I pay YouTube TV for this.
Exactly.
You no longer have said service. Pay that man his money. I want my money back is what I want right now. Because you told me I was going to have that. Now you don't have it. You can say whatever you want about, like the NBA tells me guys are going to play.
Hey,
and then you put the games on and they're not playing.
Hold on, that's like mafia work now, man. You gotta be careful.
That's also fair. Same thing as what Disney's doing. It's no different.
It's not different.
Technically, kind of, yeah. What's his face was saying is kind of the thing. There's a Hulu Live TV bundle with Disney Plus and ESPN Select / ESPN Unlimited through the ESPN app, which I assume is what we're talking about. All of that costs $90.
For that 90, I get everything I need. All the Disney stuff that we have right now through the Disney Plus app.
Yes.
All the ESPN stuff that I need.
Yes.
And then
Hulu.
do I have to upgrade the Hulu Live for regular TV?
No, this is Hulu plus Live TV, like Stanford Steve and Scott Van Pelt. Those
Shooting the money gun.
Yes. That's that. Plus Disney Plus with ads, plus Hulu with ads, plus ESPN Select and ESPN Unlimited through the ESPN app. Altogether one for $90. But you get a 3-month deal for $65,
Hey.
which is what YouTube TV used to be.
Okay.
They know what they're doing.
Todd Wisenhunt tweets in, go to Target or Walmart, get a $15 antenna, plug it in your TV. It won't get ESPN, but you'll get ABC 3340, clears a bill. And when I need to rewind plays, when I need to go see if that left guard actually did have a full slab on that play, how would I be able to do that?
So with that, how would your kids watch you with the antenna?
They won't.
Oh, okay. SEC Network. Okay, lost that one. How would you watch the game on ESPN? Oh, lost that one.
But we got ABC.
Yeah.
We have come full circle here. Steven Isabel says DirecTV is the cheapest way out.
Wow. Look at there.
We just literally hopped in the DeLorean and landed in 2002.
Pretty much.
And we're there. Here we go.
We got to check the weather forecast.
Steelers are good again. Like, NFL plays real defense. Mac McClung's not on a roster in the NBA.
Oh, yeah, he is. Yes, he is.
Not in 2002.
Oh, not in 2002. No, he wasn't even born, I don't think.
We announced that the other day.
Yeah.
I think it's a smart move. Put him in at the end of the game when you're up 40. If you need his load management minutes, let him go in there and try to dunk over a giraffe or something. I don't
Tua's
care.
not playing in November. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Around that.
Yeah.
Cam Newton's dressing funky. Around that ain't changed.
Michigan's relevant.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. I mean, I might be more confused with reading people's thoughts. He said, do we join Greg's Apple TV? It's funny when he talks about Apple TV because he's not talking about the Apple TV Plus app and the things that come on that. He's just talking about using
Apple TV
to go to his
as
things.
your TV watching device, not Apple TV Plus, which is the streaming service to watch Ted Lasso.
And as someone who has Apple TV on 2 televisions and doesn't have it on the other 3, I can tell you, it ain't easier.
No.
If that's just what you know how to do, then yes, it's easier. But turning the TV on and navigating it through that with the same remote is, first off, Apple TV was a great invention when it came out.
Yes.
The remote is garbage.
Absolutely, yes.
Because you're 9 out of, actually, you know what? 999 times of 1,000, you're sliding past the letter that you're intended for. Or past the app you're intended for. If you want YouTube, we went over to HGTV app. Nobody wants that. We just clicked it. We got to go back again. Then you're sliding past it again on the next one. Oh, no, we ended at the MLB app. We didn't want that. It's fall. So the remote makes it more difficult than anything. But that's what he has, so he just thinks it's easier than everything else.
Technology, man.
Jolly tweets in, you're going to have to get a VCR. That's how you watch and rewind plays on the antenna. So now we've gone from 2002 to 1989.
Makes sense with Stranger Things about to come out. Yep.
Oh, man.
Next, we're going to be watching movies on Laserdisc for $7,000 a disc.
Hell, vinyls come back. Why not bring back Laserdisc?
There you go. Sam Pendleton listens to records on a real record player. Singer for Tennessee.
Really?
That's what his dad told me.
Okay.
Said he's an old soul. Royal Payne tweets in, just an FYI for some use cases. ESPN Unlimited and Fox One app has a bundle for $39.99. Friendly TV gives you the Hallmark GAC type programming for $6.99. Could go over air for NBC CBS. That didn't help. That did not help me at all. That put me further into this dark hole that I'm in right now.
I'm not gonna.
Actually, you just threw dirt inside.
Try
the
and stereotype, but who in this audience would need the Hallmark and?
Oh, I have.
That one.
I have a significant other.
No. I know.
Has to have it every year, and every one of those with the dude that played Zach on Saved by the Bell movies is going to be in around Christmas time that make no sense whatsoever. Yeah.
First off, it was
she's
later.
watching all of those.
Oh
no, Zach's in them too.
Oh, he is.
Oh,
Okay,
yeah.
well he's slumming it. All right, but that's the misses.
No, I don't need any of that.
Right? Yeah, that's right.
I'm going to safely imagine that Royal Payne is saying that for those reasons. I'm not going to put that on him.
Okay, because that's why I was like, well, again, I'm not going to stereotype, but it feels like of the three of us talking, like we're not wanting both of those.
I'm just going to.
We might want one or the other.
I'm assuming that he's playing the game that we would probably play in that. Hey, holiday season's coming up.
I got
your wife, probably like mine, needs those Hallmark movies that are nonsensical. And basically the same movie with just different characters over and over.
More
and
or
over.
less, yeah.
Like,
same plot.
One works at a train station, one works at a coffee shop, one's a delivery person.
Yeah.
It's the same movie, just different roles
Somebody
by different
comes
actors.
back home for Christmas. Like, oh,
Or they go to
single.
Ireland. Okay.
Oh,
Yeah.
you're single. I'm single.
Yeah.
Oh,
The high school love comes back. And
Merry Christmas.
Wait, your husband died? Your wife died? We're both here?
We're both here.
It's Christmas.
I wonder how that one ends.
You don't have Thanksgiving plans? I don't have Thanksgiving plans. I say we do Thanksgiving. Marriage.
Same-o.
That's it. That's how it works.
Oh no, the orphanage is going to close. What are we going to do? Well, let's put a concert together. Oh my gosh, is that Dierks Bentley?
I'm going to help y'all. I just happen to be playing a Thanksgiving special. I didn't know Elvis was coming either. What are we doing?
Oh, man.
VCR. Can you imagine
No, I can't.
having to watch games on a VCR?
Again? I mean, we kind of did.
Oh, no, I can't even fathom that.
Go back. Like if you're trying to say go back to play 70, you got to press rewind.
You got too far. That was the worst. You always went too far. I used to have my favorite VHS tape growing up as a kid was NFL's Greatest Hits. And the premise was these two janitors were in like the NFL headquarters, and they stumbled upon like this massive supercomputer inside NFL headquarters that did all the highlights and made all the NFL film stuff, and it spoke, and it was talking about like Lawrence Taylor, Jack Lambert, Ronnie Lott, and all these guys. I just remember one of the juniors like, shoot, Jack Lambert could have played on roller skates. And then they show all the Jack Lambert highlights. And I would try to rewind it, like go see LT and Reggie White and these guys.
That's dope.
It was no, it was actually dumb. But that was the only place you got those highlights, really. I mean, you couldn't just
pop it into
yeah,
YouTube.
you didn't go to YouTube or you didn't go to Twitter and scroll through, the Colts and see what they were showing that day. It just didn't happen.
When you recorded stuff on VHS, were you whichever is like the SP, you got 2 hours, or the one where you got like 6-7 hours?
I was never smart enough to figure that out.
Okay.
I always wondered what that was. Thanks for clearing that up.
Well,
I had
because
no
like
idea.
you could record stuff on like it was either 2 hours, 4 hours, or 6 hours, and I always went 6 hours because hey, that means longer. But the quality, you thought quality back then wasn't great. SP looked like it was on TV. The EP or LP, whatever it was, awful. It was like a dirty windshield that ain't been cleaned in 20 years.
Imagine
going back and rewatching that.
This used to happen too. So I can remember Coach Newton at Homewood High School. They would drive and meet the other coach, and they would trade game film.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
And there were VHS tapes. Like he would get 3, you would get 3. And I remember like coaches complaining sometimes. He'd be like, they gave us their first 3 games of the year, and it's like week 10.
Yep.
Like there were tactics involved. Like some actually cut out. Like certain plays just weren't there. Like the camera panned over to the stands or something.
It goes from the first to the third quarter in 2 plays.
Hold on. And I also remember my father, his had the when you hit eject, it popped up out of the top. So you didn't put it in like the side of the whole machine.
Okay.
And it made this loud noise when it came up. And then they would invent these with remote controls that were like digital.
Mm-hmm.
He never upgraded.
He just stayed.
And so you had to hit the far left eject. And it was like this, I mean, it was like a massive key that you had to like put actual force into to push it down. And that thing would go ka-ka-donk and it would pop up. And then you put the cassette in, you had to like literally like smash it down. Never upgraded. Never upgraded. And I just remember sitting there, I'd be like, Dad, they have like newer VCRs. There's a digital clock, you can even set it to the actual time. Remote control even might run it. He's like, that one works. What's the problem?
It ain't broke, don't
And it
fix
did work. I mean, it did. I bet that thing weighed 58 pounds. Easy. I'll never forget hitting that. The thing popped up, the whole shelf would shake. You jam it back in there and watch it. I'm glad we don't have to do that anymore.
So much better.
All right, so what are we going to do?
But we deal with this now.
Right.
Yeah.
I mean, I guess it sounds like this should happen today. Cancel everything and literally start over. How long would that take? I bet that would take us a day to cancel all the things that we have. And then maybe what you should do is we should cancel today and then just start living and let that decide what we need. Like, I know I got to see this, so I got to go get that now.
Well, right.
Okay.
Yeah.
Because when would we get to Netflix? Black Friday will be the next time that we were like, we have to have that. Because we have NFL on Black Friday. So, I don't know. Keep the ideas coming in. We'll discuss it more next right here on Jocks. All right, welcome back in. McElroy and Cubelic in the morning, 9:25. Max Ball Friday right here on Jocks. We'll get to Stanford Steve here in just a moment. A lot of games coming up this weekend that I think are flying under the radar just a little bit. We mentioned Miami and SMU, not one that a lot of folks are paying a lot of attention to. Keep in mind, West Virginia at Houston. That is a 7-1, 4-1 in conference Houston team. So Big 12, a couple of those teams, kind of like the ACC, that have a chance to creep up and maybe have some teams in the mix here later in the year that we're not talking about. 11 a.m. on CBS Sports Network tomorrow. 3-4 UAB is at 5-3 UConn. Army and Air Force, 11 a.m. tomorrow, CBS and Paramount Plus, which is another thing that maybe we have to now go get. I've never had
Not
Paramount
yet.
Plus.
Hold on, not yet.
Didn't think I would ever need it. I think they tried to wrangle us into Yellowstone for a while that you had to have that to watch that. I finagled another way somehow. I don't even remember what it was.
Thankfully now you don't need an app for games on Paramount yet. They haven't pulled a Netflix and put a game just on that yet.
They didn't put I thought there was a Notre Dame or a Big Ten game just on Paramount Plus. I could be
They
wrong.
did it on Peacock.
They did
an NFL playoff game on Peacock.
Yeah, it was Notre Dame, nobody on Peacock, I believe.
Yeah. Michigan State maybe? Yeah, it was something, yeah.
All right, Stanford Steve joining us on the Higginbotham Hotline. Thanks to our friends at Atlas Senior Living. Before we go into some of these lines, do you have thoughts on the YouTube TV situation right now? I'm just looking for answers because I have YouTube TV. We know who stuffs your pockets, so if you want to pass on this conversation, you can. But what's the play for the people that do have YouTube TV?
Cole, you know this. With kids, it complicates everything, right?
Yes.
You got the app. You got the app. So I have never wavered. We use Verizon for our internet. Wifey works from home, so we need the best internet. And then like the cable deal through Verizon wasn't bad. So that package with internet and cable, and you get everything. Obviously you pay extra for HBO and all that, but if you pay for HBO, then you get the HBO Max app for free. So I think that's cheaper to do on Verizon. And then I just use my Verizon login for my smart TVs, for my iPads, and get the apps, and you log in through that. And then without that, I think you still have Peacock. What do we got? Peacock, Netflix, and then there's another one. So yeah, it's a bigger. Since all this started, my cable bill hasn't wavered, and like I said, I never went to the YouTube TV, just scared of if that would work for everything. So I've done it the old school way and stayed true. It's expensive, but I've been paying the same from the beginning as I am now, where everybody is still feels like adding on. So that's the way I do it.
All right, Stanford Steve joining us on the Higginbotham Hotline. He's with us thanks to Atlas Senior Living each and every week. If I gave you a choice, you could only choose one, and you had to play the total in Army and Air Force or Buffalo and Bowling Green, which way would you go? Army, Air Force, 49.5. Buffalo, Bowling Green, 43.5. I feel like those should be reversed, by the way.
Yeah, I agree with you on that. I would probably go under Air Force, Army, just knowing you don't have Navy in the mix, who has screwed up these service academy totals because of the, what do they call it, this sling T offense where they're throwing it a lot more. And looking at numbers, Horvath has more rushing yards than Jeremiah Love, which is nuts. So I put him in my top 5 Heisman. But Army and Air Force are still there. There's plenty on the line. I believe if Air Force wins, Navy clinches the Commander-in-Chief Cup. So both teams are going to want to try and win this. I imagine Monken and Calhoun will go back to their old ways, and it'll be a rock'em sock'em. So I'd go under in that one.
All right, Stanford Steve joining us on the Higginbotham Hotline. We think Georgia-Florida can be competitive. I don't feel great about just outright picking the Gators to win. 7.5 doesn't feel egregious, but I just think Florida's going to have something. We don't know what changes Russ Cowley's going to make to the offense.
Yep.
You've got playmakers on that side of the ball. If they get the stretch play going, they can build that into bootlegs and some maybe play action shots, and then obviously get the misdirection going after that with the jet sweeps and the counters. Are you on board with Florida? There are multiple paths for them to keep this game competitive late.
Absolutely. It feels like I've thought that Florida and Auburn were, had a bunch of these same kind of games, winnable games, one possession spread games, and they just couldn't get it done. But like it's a scary spot for Georgia. Both teams off a bye. Florida got rid of their coach. Georgia still trying to get that offensive line healthy. Are they going to go to the young guys in the secondary after seeing what they did for the first part of this season? So I still think Florida's offensive line matches up well, and it's a dicey deal for Georgia. You don't know if they're going to want to try and pound Georgia with the run, or then you see the success the teams have had with the pass and Lagway with a bye week and getting a better game plan and more. I mean, he was really good against them last year, and then he got hurt. They were in that ball game the first half. So I don't think Florida's going to be deterred at all, and they're plenty motivated with a chance to upset and kind of make their season. With everything now in the past, to jumpstart this thing and beat their rival, I think would be enormous. So yeah, I like to get in the 7.5 for the Gators.
All right, there we go. There, Texas Vandy. Greg going to be on the call for that one tomorrow morning, 11 a.m. In Austin. I think it's a bad matchup for Texas. Now, don't get me wrong. There are parts of this that are not great for Vandy. I think the athleticism at receiver, which for Texas has not shown up every week. The edge defenders being able to rush the passer. But is Vandy going to really live in 3rd and 8, 3rd and 10? How do you see this one? I think the wrong team's favored, personally. I get that it's at home. Where are you on Texas -3.5?
I think it's a dead under game. And, just to your point of both teams trying to establish what they do. Seeing Vandy in person 2 of the last 4 weeks, they're a really good football team. They're a playoff-worthy football team. I agree with you. I think the better team is underdog as far as the spread. But you go back and you talk to the Texas guys, they haven't played a home game in 47 days. Like, when they went through a 3-game stretch after Ohio State, what was it, UTEP and San Jose State, like those were their last home games because they went to Gainesville, they had Red River, they went to Lexington, they went to Starkville. So to me, I think the injuries are enormous for Texas, and I'm not even talking about Arch. I'm talking about getting Cole Hudson. They've won these last 2 games without him. You know how valuable he is to a unit that has really struggled. And then Michael Taft coming back at safety. You saw a difference in that secondary in the back end of the Texas defense without him when he broke his thumb at Kentucky and not having him against Mississippi State. They really looked disheveled back there. So I think it's a game control game, and I trust Vanderbilt more. I might sound nuts saying it, but watching this team, they're as solid as can be. Super, super physical game last week being there. I mean, you touched on it, having Missouri, I believe, early in the year. Their linebackers and ends, I mean, good Lord, do they love contact. And it was awesome to see. But Vandy overcame that. Got a huge 4th down stop. And they've been in these close games now. Pavia was unfortunate with the turnovers against Bama, but that I thought last week was huge with everything that comes with that. The biggest home game they've had in a while and responded well. Now they can go back to their underdog role where nobody believes in us. I believe Vanderbilt wins the game.
Stanford Steve joining us on the Higginbotham Hotline with us each and every week, thanks to Atlas Senior Living. Another one that I think, this isn't a high-profile game, but I think the wrong team is favored. Mississippi State at Arkansas. We saw with no Cam Ball last week for Arkansas, that D-line not going to get a lot of stops in the run game. State can get downhill in the run game. Now, I think a lot of people, Steve, are probably sitting here wondering, okay, Mississippi State, you've been close so many times. Like, at what point are they going to fold? I can tell you this, they ain't folding. No. I watched them last year at 0-9 in the league, and the defense playing like their hair's on fire. So I just think State's got a lot more to play for here. I get it's on the road. That is a place that gets tougher and tougher later in the year to go play. I understand that. And maybe pitching the ball around in 53-degree weather is not going to be as advantageous, but that works for Arkansas too. I think State will be better against Arkansas's run game than Arkansas will be against State's. I think State should be favored. What are your thoughts on this one?
I think 40 points. And I think both teams know they got to get to 40 to feel comfortable about winning this. So I really like the over that sits at 65.
65.5.
Yeah, I mean, look, you've seen both these teams.
You're right.
The priority is on these teams with the side that has the football in their hand. So I think both teams know this. You talk about all these coaches and where Arkansas rank in the tier and everything. Like Petrino, like you talk to everyone there, they're like, yeah, we're fine. If Bobby turns this thing around, we can hand the reins to him, which is its own conversation and radio show itself. So if I still have Talon, I think he's the best player on the field. I lean toward but it's more than a field goal. I still, I thought Auburn, showed their strength of playing defense against Arkansas. But to your point, Mississippi State doesn't have those guys on defense. So I lean Arkansas, but if I had to take anything in that game, it would be the over.
All right, Stanford Steve with us on the Higginbotham Hotline, brought to us each and every week by Atlas Senior Living. There are a lot of folks that are really confident in Oklahoma this weekend. I'm not saying they can't win, Steve. I'm not saying that Mateer can't go off. I'm not saying that D-line can't be disruptive, but I almost feel like with what Oklahoma does well and doesn't do well, it really plays into Tennessee's hands. Now, do I think Tennessee runs for 180? No. And I think, but with how Tennessee operates, some of the slower developing runs and a running back that presses the line of scrimmage and rides as blocks can be very beneficial against a group that moves. And I've now seen proof of it. Oklahoma's defensive linemen are great, but if they don't move, Steve, they're not nearly as good as when they do. They're just not. So I think the gap scheme runs, the way Tennessee offers the run game, I think we learned last week Oklahoma's secondary might not be great. I know the Tennessee secondary's got some problems, but can they keep Tennessee's D-line off Mateer? I don't think so. I actually feel really good about Tennessee in this spot. They're favored by 2.5 at home, 6:30 on ABC. How do you feel about them?
Yeah, I just go back to what Tennessee has beaten in league. I think it's the three teams that still don't have a win. And when I think about that, I think about, to your point, the defensive line of Oklahoma. I think you're going to have every hands on deck. There is, both these head coaches want to beat the other guy really, really bad with all that's had happened with those two and these two universities. So I still lean towards Oklahoma getting the points. I think the biggest factor is Oklahoma, as bad as they are on offense, they still can take advantage of that Tennessee secondary, which is just not there. And then there's another injury. I believe Hood's out for Tennessee, which he's maybe been their best guy, knowing they haven't had McCoy in the other corner. So I think that defensive line for Oklahoma travels well in a monster environment. So I would lean towards Oklahoma. I get your point with Tennessee, and I still think Aguiar is one of the best stories in the conference. But against this defense, I got to see it because he's been successful against other teams that don't have the wherewithal. And to your point, it is a big spot for Oklahoma's secondary. But I think that defense travels and they keep it close enough. I lead Oklahoma with the points.
Steve, we always appreciate it, but I did want to get one more in.
Let's go.
You love Cincinnati. I love Cincinnati. You kind of put me on their offensive line. I had seen them taking a peek, but I've taken a deeper dive. I'm a big fan of how they operate. Yeah. I love Sorsby. I love the Utah offensive line. Utah's favored by 10.5 at home, 9:15 on ESPN Saturday night. Where are you just on this matchup and maybe where the line is for this game that maybe can be a sort of a get-right game for some folks late Saturday night?
Yeah, it's getting to a scary point because I was stunned watching, we announced we're going to game day. I'm going to play the Monday Night Football. I dive in, put on some Cincinnati tape and just I was wowed. I really was. And people could say Big 12, I don't care. I'm watching them execute at a super, super high level. I look at the guys with all the delays and screens they want. No offensive lineman downfield. The tight end Royer is a stud. And Sorsby, man, he is all of 240 pounds. And then I see this line keep going up to 10.5. So I put on Utah. And it's like, all right, Cincinnati has more resistance than what that Colorado defense just put on the field against Utah. So I lean Cincinnati. They have the goods to win this game. I definitely take the 10.5. And it is, for an East Coast team going out here, we're out here. It's mountain time. What is that? Yeah. So it's 8:15 here. I believe Cincinnati traveled today. So they're just going to try to take this in one day. It's a long-ass day at the team hotel. Those night games and how coaches could dial up walkthroughs like no other. But I still think Cincinnati. I looked at them. They get BYU at home in a couple of weeks, and then they have a road trip to TCU to end the year. They're like plus 700 to win the Big 12. They win these two games, and they're going to be in a title game. So I like the Bearcats and Sorsby gets it done on the road. So I'll take the 10.5.
There you go. Stanford Steve, brought to us by Atlas Senior Living. Great stuff, man. Always appreciate the time and look forward to catching up again next week.
All right, my man. Talk to you soon.
Stanford Steve joining us on the Higginbotham Hotline. He gives us the most accurate information on lines, his thoughts on where things are going. 43.5 for Buffalo and Bowling Green. You guys going over or under that?
I feel like most of the time in good conscience I can't take a under.
No?
But it's going to be, that would be the one that maybe.
Okay. I feel like this is more of an over weekend, but there aren't a lot of just egregiously low lines. Central Michigan, Western Michigan's 43.5. Wyoming, San Diego State's 42.5. But I feel like there's multiple in the 60s this week also. That now I understand the Arkansas Mississippi State part. The thing that would worry me about going over 65.5 in that one is later in the game, the Arkansas offense kind of bleh. Like I think that thing started to shut down a little bit as the game went on. All right, more games to talk about, more games to get to on a Max Ball Friday. We appreciate Stanford Steve hopping in. First, I'll tell you about Game Day Men's Health. If you are feeling on edge, if you're lacking sleep, lacking energy, Game Day Men's Health wants to help you. It's easy. All you do is go to GameDayMen'sHealth.com. That's GameDayMen'sHealth.com today. You're going to get a free consultation that includes the free PSR test, the free testosterone test, all your baseline health measurements that they need. They'll let you know where you are and then what they can do for you. Weight loss programs, testosterone replacement. They can help you with all that at Game Day Men's Health. Open in Trustville now. Go to GameDayMen'sHealth.com. Sign up for that free consultation, locker room environment, holistic approach to health and wellness. It's GameDayMen'sHealth.com. Why would you not just go sign up and see what they can do for you? Back with more next. All right, welcome back in. McElroy and Cubelic in the morning, 9:45 Friday, October 31st. It is Halloween right here on Jocks. It's Halloween everywhere. Notre Dame's at Boston College, 2:30 on ESPN. 5-2, the Irish are ranked number 12. I think this is a dangerous spot. I know Boston College is 1-7. I just hate teams going to Chestnut Hill this late in the year. I don't hate it as much for Boston College for Notre Dame. I think they're a little more geared to deal with that. But when you talk about SMU going up there and then Georgia Tech going up there in a couple of weeks, I don't like that spot for those teams at all. I think Notre Dame will be fine here, though, as the ground game probably helps them be able to get it done. Tonight, North Carolina, Syracuse. We thought North Carolina maybe going to get over the hump last week, kept it closer than I expected them to against Virginia. I don't think that they get it done tonight against Syracuse. Memphis looking for a bounce back against Rice tonight. I think Memphis will be fine there, even playing on the road. That is an egregious stadium that they'll be playing in. Sam Houston State looked for their first win tonight against La Tech. Have you seen these La Tech uniforms they're wearing?
No, I'm not. Are they
They're
good?
clean.
Okay.
It's like a darker blue. It looks really good. Yes, it's a fantastic look. Around the Southeastern Conference, some games we haven't mentioned: Ole Miss and South Carolina. I do think South Carolina's defense can complicate this game. I think the Ole Miss defensive line, Will Eccles, Xavier Harris, playing really good football, better than people are giving them credit for. They will be more of a problem for the South Carolina offensive line. And there are some issues in the secondary for Ole Miss that maybe Lenore Sellers and company can find some room with. I don't think that'll be consistent, though. But Dylan Stewart, Brian Thomas will make plays. That defensive line for South Carolina is really coming along, but that's not going to be enough in this matchup. So we'll pick a couple winners on the other side, let you know our final thoughts on a couple of games when we come back. First, though, I got to tell you about the Gusty Gould's Group. If you're looking for a new home in Central Alabama, Gusty Gould's Group wants to help you. They've served more than 3,000 home buyers and sellers in the greater Birmingham area. And since 2012, the Gusty Gould's Group has been recognized nationally and locally as Greater Birmingham, Alabama's #1 team in homes sold. Over 855-star Google reviews. So just Google Gusty Gould's Group, see what they can do for you, or call 205-542-1996 and start packing today. Super Sofa Game of the Week next, right here on Jocks. All right, welcome back in. McElroy and Cubelic in the morning. Don't forget about Andrews Sports Medicine. There's a reason Auburn Athletics hand-selected Andrews Sports Medicine's Dr. Benson Immelman and Charles Pitts to serve as their team physicians. They provide the highest quality sports medicine care and effort to keep the Tiger student-athletes safe, healthy, and competing at the highest level. If Andrews Sports Medicine is a choice for Auburn Athletics, there's no doubt they should be your family's number one choice for sports medicine and orthopedic care. Andrews Sports Medicine has 7 locations across central Alabama from Birmingham, Coleman, Gardendale, Hoover, Pelham, Trussville. They offer same-day, next-day appointments for acute sports injuries. Visit AndrewSportsMedicine.com today to begin your journey of achieving victory over injury. All right, before we get to our Super Sofa Game of the Week, we'll get some predictions rolling in here before we get to that. You two are going to give me your predictions for Kentucky and Auburn over the weekend. I can't pick it. I'll be in the booth with Tom Hart for this game. Damian, Kentucky, Auburn get the win.
Auburn, big.
John? Big.
Yeah, I think. Ooh.
Yes.
I think Auburn wins. I do think it'll be kind of a close game. I think Auburn pulls away late, though.
All right, Vanderbilt, Texas. I've been on Vanderbilt all week. I'm not going to change it now. I think they're the better football team. I think they are the more physical football team. I think their offense travels. I think they can be problematic for the Texas offense. We don't know the situation with Arch Manning. That ain't good. I'll go Vandy in this game.
Yep. For every reason that you said, I'm going with Vanderbilt.
Wrong team's favored. Vandy wins.
Yep.
Georgia, Florida. I think a lot of us think Florida can keep this game close. I'm on the brink of picking Florida to win the game.
Wow.
But I think some of the uncertainty, some of the unknowns, Georgia with the extra week, they solve some problems. I think this will be a game for Gunnar Stockton that he kind of goes down. I don't want to say the history books, but it helps him in Georgia lore as finding a way to get this thing. I think it's actually going to be a little bit more of a grinded-out football game than people imagine. I'll take Georgia close.
Yeah, I'm with you. I think it'll be a fist fight, but Georgia, they'll come away victorious.
I do think Georgia wins. I think Florida has the lead late, but I think Georgia finds a way to grit out a gutsy win.
All right, just winners now. Mississippi State, Arkansas, I'll take the Bulldogs.
Mississippi State.
Same.
South Carolina, Ole Miss.
Ole Miss.
Yeah.
South Carolina doesn't have enough offense.
sorry.
Oklahoma, Tennessee.
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 All right, I'm on Tennessee as well. I think they get the win. Let's get to our Super Sofa game of the week. You get one game to watch. And if you have YouTube TV, you might not even get that. Might get no games to watch. I'm actually going to go with Greg's game. I want to see if this offense really does travel. I want to see if the Vanderbilt offensive line, specifically the tackles, can bounce back a little bit from last week. What if there is no Arch Manning? What if that offense looks better without Arch Manning?
Oh, boy. Mm-hmm. That'd be terrifying.
But imagine the noise we're going to be hearing next week if all of a sudden Matthew Caldwell, the Troy transfer, is in there running that offense in a more efficient way. For me, that is my Super Sofa game of the week. 11 a.m. on ABC.
I'm going to I was actually going to pick Vanderbilt and Texas as well, but I'm going to go Tennessee, Oklahoma. Heupel, can he go undefeated against his alma mater? 2 years in a row, Tennessee's unveiling the Halloween, well, it's the day after Halloween, spooky uniforms, all black, up in Rocky Top. So give me Tennessee and Oklahoma. 6:30 on ABC is my TD's Fine Furniture Super Sofa game of the weekend.
I'll take Cole's game. 6:45 ESPN, Auburn, Kentucky. This is a game that Kentucky can win. I do think Auburn wins, but Auburn still needs to get bowl eligible, and that Arkansas win last week helped it, but you can't afford to turn around and lose this one. But Kentucky has shown that they've got a lot of fight in them. So I wouldn't be surprised if Kentucky wins this game. I think it's going to be a tight contest back and forth. So give me Kentucky, Auburn, SEC Network, 6:45. And you can find your Super Sofa or furniture for the entire home at TD's Fine Furniture. The store is the size of 2 football fields, so there's plenty to choose from at TD's Fine Furniture in Summerton.
There are some ways Kentucky can complicate this game. Kentucky, to me, is a team that they need things to go their way early.
Mm-hmm.
That's why Seth McGowan's critical to this game. He didn't go last week. He was a game-time decision. He is an absolute hammer. Like, he is as physical of a back as you're going to find in this league. And talking to that staff, they'll tell you that emotionally, like I'll put it this way. Bush Hamden said, Seth McGowan's a guy that when there's a lot of, like, farting around in practice and whatnot, I can look at him and say, really? And he gets everybody in check.
Makes sense.
And we asked Cutter Boley about it, and Cutter Boley's like, he doesn't have to say a lot, man. People are like, chill out. So I think they need him for a lot of reasons. I'm worried about Kentucky's offensive line holding up against a potential pass rush if they do live in 3rd and long. Once again, why you need Seth McGowan to be able to get going. 2nd and 5s, 3rd and 4s, 3rd and 2s is where Kentucky has to live. Kendrick Law needs a big game in the jet sweeps, the quick game, needs to turn those into big plays. Watch out for DJ Miller in this game. I'm going to go ahead and tell you right now. DJ Miller, freshman wide receiver for Kentucky, 6'3", 204. He can play. He had a couple big grabs late in the game last week. Nobody noticed it because Tennessee was blowing him out. He can be a problem if they find ways to get him matched up a little bit more in this game against Auburn.
Who starts for Auburn?
Ashton Daniels.
Ashton Daniels.
You're going to need him the rest of the year, more so than you're going to need Jackson Arnold, so you got to ride with him now. Hey, guys, don't forget about Royal Automotive. If you're looking for that new ride, save big at Royal Buick GMC. Here's some of the discounts you're going to find. 2025 GMC Sierra 1500 SLT Premium Plus with sunroof and the 6.2-liter engine priced at $70,559, reduced to $55,559. That's a saving of $15,000. Check out the 2026 Encore GX SUV loaded with the Avenger trim package. List at $38,040, but today you can get it for $33,040 and take advantage of a $5,000 price reduction. Royal Buick GMC, corner of I-65, Highway 31 in Vestavia, online, royalbuickgmc.net. For every ride, there's Royal. We're back Monday. Three-man front comes next, followed by Paul Feinbaum. Keep it locked right here on Jocks.